Hello folks. So in this video, I'm going to explain and show you how to consider context when interacting or conversing with chatbot. That is, how chatbots are able to understand the context of discussion and answering the questions which are associated with the given subject. And it would understand how to or what to answer in such scenarios when the user is asking questions related to specific topics. So please watch this video till the end to understand and incorporate this very important topic of context. Otherwise, your chatbot might deviate away from the subject of questions being asked. Hey, what's up, folks? This is Nitin welcoming you to AI University channel where you can learn all your favorite digital technologies like machine learning, deep learning, AI, big data, Hadoop, virtual reality, and cloud computing. You can acquire the related skills in order to advance your career in these fields. And I believe in learning by doing, and hence takes a hands-on approach in majority of these videos. So if you are new here, then consider clicking or subscribing to this channel. Or if you have already subscribed, then click on the bell icon to receive the notifications about the hottest technologies of 21st century. Now let's go extra mile by adding some context to the conversation. That is, whenever we are talking to chatbot, the chatbot should be able to understand that there is some context associated with the conversation, and it should, in fact, provide some contextual response accordingly. We might want to handle questions related to reserving a table at a restaurant and ask if the reservation is for today. That clarification question is a simple contextual response because we are inquiring about reservation in a restaurant, and that too for today. So these two questions are linked and are being used in the same context. If the user responds today and the context is the reservation time frame, then it's best that they call the restaurant at 100 1-800 number. So no, don't waste much time. Why wasting time on that? All right. So in order to achieve this, we will add the notion of state to our chatbot framework. We would need a data structure to maintain state and a specific code to manipulate it while processing the intents. Because the state of our chatbot framework or a state machine needs to be easily restored or persisted or copied, etc. So it's important to keep it all in a data structure such as dictionary. So I'm introducing few lines of code in response function as well as so kind of introducing the few lines of code in response function as well as going to create a data structure to hold user context, and that data structure would be dictionary named context. Okay. So let me open the Jupyter notebook here real quick. Okay, so this is my Jupyter notebook. Okay, and here you can see that I have created a dictionary named context here, right? Which will create a date, I mean, which will hold the user context. So it will contain a state for each user. So this dictionary will contain the state for each user. And we will use some unique identifier for each user. For example, a cell number maybe. So this allows our chatbot framework and state machine to maintain the state for multiple users simultaneously. Okay. Then in the response function, let me scroll down a bit. So in the response function, I have introduced context handlers within the intent processing flow. Okay, and which is this particular piece of code. Okay, these lines of code starting if context underscore set in I. So starting this particular line of code till this point, I have introduced the context handlers within intent processing flow. So here, this code, the first few lines, we are setting up the context. So here I'm talking about these first few lines. So we are setting up the context if in case it is necessary. And in the next set of lines, which are these lines, okay, so in these next set of lines, we are checking if the intent is contextual and applies to user's conversation. I repeat, I'm checking if the intent is contextual and applies to the user's conversation. Okay, so let me in fact show you a couple of intents given at the very last of our intents file. And let me open the intents file first. So here's my intents file. Okay, so I'm talking about these two intents. Okay, all right. So let us say if an intent wants to set context, it can do so based on the intent given here. So this is the one. Okay, and if another intent wants to contextually linked to a context, it can do that as shown here. Okay, here. So we have some context set, which is set as food, and then we have context filter, which is again food. Okay, so in this way, if let's say a user just to type menu out of a blue with no context at all, our menu intent won't be processed. Okay, and if they enter menu as a response to our clarification question, where we have a tag delivery option, okay, then the intent is processed. Okay, so let me open this Jupyter notebook once again. So here if you see, I have asked a question to my uh, our chatbot. Okay, so I typed this question, can you please let me know the delivery options, right? So it gave me the chatbot gave me an answer. We have home delivery options through Uber Eats and Zomato. Okay, then I again asked a question to chatbot, what is menu for today? Okay, so he actually the chatbot responded back saying that you can check various delicacies given in the input, given in the food menu at this particular link. Okay, so now these two uh, questions are linked uh, and with the same context. So these two questions have same context, and these two questions are linked together. Okay, so if we ask further questions within the same context, it will respond back with the same context only. So now, so important thing to note here is that these two questions are linked together in the same context. And if you want to see the value of context, simply type context, okay, and you will be able to see that context value here. So you can see here that our context state has been changed, and when I tried to see the value of the context, it showed me the context as food. So that means that these two questions has the same context, which is food. Okay, now let's see some contextual conversation in action. Okay, so let me scroll down a bit. Okay, here what I'm doing is I'm actually I wanted to clear the context which came into effect when I ran the above two cells. Okay, uh, so in order to clear the context, I ran our greetings intent, which was this one. Okay, and here I deliberately set context set as blank. So if you see the intents file, which is greetings tag, in this greetings tag, you can see the context set is set as blank, right? So in order to clear the context, I ran our greetings context here, okay? And as I told you earlier, this context set was deliberately set as blank, okay? And I added this show details parameter in order to help us see inside the response we are going to get through this question. So I posed this question, not in fact a question. I just greeted the chatbot saying that hi there. Okay, so it responded back because I kept this show details parameter as true, so it is showing me all the details here. So context is blank, tag was greeting, and it responded back saying good to see you again. Okay, so the chatbot responded back very well saying good to see you. Okay, now when I ran this particular option of this particular question, what is menu for today? Okay, input once again. So I, if you see, I posed or asked the same question above, right? And it responded with this answer. You can check various delicacies given in the food menu at this. So here the context was in effect, that's why it responded with this answer. But you can see when I posed the same question here, okay, it changed the answer. It said today's special is chicken tikka. Okay, so you can see that our response to the context free, our response is context free here. Okay, and it is totally different. The response is totally different when I had context in effect here. Okay, okay, here context was in effect, so my response was different. And when I cleared the context and made this question as context free, it gave me a different answer. Okay, so just to tell you once again, when I selected the same input, when I was under the influence of context, it gave me a totally different output, which was at that time linked with context, which was food. Okay, so here you saw that our chatbot has been trained on those intent file, and it is behaving very well, and it is responding back very well. So it is in fact responding to our answers in a very well manner. Okay, and similarly you can basically change the intent file. So the conversation, you can include the patterns, tags, and responses. You can change those according to the industry. Okay, so if there is a hotel industry, or you can create or use the intent file accordingly. And if it is a customer support related to retail domain, you can use the associated intent file to train your model. Whichever intent file you will use to train the model, your chatbot will respond accordingly and specific to that particular domain. Okay, so that, keep that in mind. So folks, this is it for this video. To conclude, I explained how to add contextualization in the conversation chatbot is going to have with human user. And this was a very important topic from real life like discussion perspective. Okay, so you saw that in fact you won't be able to figure out whether you are getting response from an actual person or a chatbot. It is very well responding you in a good manner and in the associated context. So let me ask you a question from the video I explained today. How did I clear the context associated with the discussion in this video? Please post your comments in the comment section given below so that I can I can get a chance to incorporate your feedback. And you can also ask your technical questions in the comment section, and I will be glad to answer your questions. And if you're watching this video and you're not already a subscriber to our channel, consider clicking that little subscribe button. In case you have already subscribed, then click on bell icon to receive the notifications whenever I will release a new video. So thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I will be covering next topic in the upcoming videos, so keep on watching. Thank you.